Okay, so for the Draw Your Initials activity, we're going to go to Classwork. We're going to scroll down to Unit 3 and VexVR Activity 7, Draw Your Initials. As usual, I can open up my website, vexvr.com, and the Google Doc of instructions. In our vexvr.com, we can open up our playground, and we're going to be in the art canvas again for this activity. Make sure, yep, the art canvas. Okay, so for level 1, create an algorithm for each letter of your initials. Use the pen on the VR robot to draw those letters into the art canvas. For your initials, I don't need your middle name, just do first and last name is fine. What I'm going to do first, after I set my drive velocity, turn velocity to 100, I'm going to actually move my robot over to the left side of the screen. We could start our initials here, but that doesn't leave us a lot of room to just drive kind of from left to right as if you were writing them. So I want to turn left for 90 degrees, drive forward, we'll say about 600 millimeters, that'll get us close to the side. I can turn back to the right. So now I'm starting without my marker down on this left side, and this gives me more room to write my initials. I can then place my marker down because now we're ready to write. And my first letter is going to be a T. So I'm going to drive forward, we'll say, let's do 600 again. And let me just make sure that starts off correctly. Yep. Perfect. Now for a T, I need the top of the T, so I'm going to turn to the left for 90 degrees. Let's say I drive forward, I'll do 300. Now we'll just stick with 200 because I don't have that much room on the side. And then I can turn completely around for 180 degrees. And now I'm going to drive forward. Instead of 200, it's going to be 400 because now I have to go all the way from the left side of the T all the way to the end of the right side. So let's make my T. Perfect. All right, at this point now we're ready to move to my O. Now we can't really do a complete circle with this, so I'm going to kind of do a block lettering O. But before I move, I want to move my pen tool up, otherwise we're going to see my line as I move from one spot to the next. Okay, so now we can move over, let's say, we'll move over 400 millimeters. Give us more room for the O. I can then move my pen tool back up because now I'm going to draw the top of my O. Again, remember I'm doing a block lettering because I can't really make a complete circle. So I'll move forward, drive forward 4, do 400. I can turn right to draw the right side of it. I'll drive forward for 600, so that way it's my same height as my T is. Turn right again and do 400. Turn right one last time and do the 600 up. And that should complete my O. So this should be your level 1. Draw your first and last initial. So I'm going to go over, I'll draw my T. Then go over, draw my O. Oh, didn't quite make it all the way up to the top distance. Only did 400. But then my 600. So then I would end up with TO. And that is your level 1. Then for level 2, all we're doing the same thing, but we're going to do our full first name. And then level 3, you do your first and last name. Gives you some practice with drawing different shapes, going different distances, and moving that pen tool up and down. Okay, so create an algorithm for each letter in your first name. Use the pen on the VR robot to draw those letters into the art canvas. So I can actually keep my first letter T because it starts off my first name anyways. So I'm going to move, I'm going to get rid of everything that I did for the O, and I can keep, so I have my T, and then I'm getting ready, I move over to draw the second letter. So instead of driving over for 400, I'm going to only move over to 200 now. Sorry. New one for that. Drive forward for 200. So now I'm ready to start my second letter. I'm going to turn right for 90, and then I is pretty easy. I'm going to do an uppercase I just to make it easy, and we'll just drive down 600, and that'll be my I. It's that straight line up and down. And then I can do the M, which will be a little trickier, but since we know how to now draw a triangle, we know how to get those angles that we need for the M. Oh, you notice, didn't draw the I, but I forgot to move my pen tool back down once I was over at the spot for my I. Don't forget that. All right, so now I'm ready to move my third letter, the M, so I need to move the pen tool back up. We're going to move to the right 200 again. We'll do a little less than 200 because we don't have a ton of space left on the side here. So I need to turn left for 90 degrees. I need to drive forward for, we'll only go with 100. And I need to turn left again. That way I'm facing upwards to draw the left side of my M. And I can move that pen tool back up, back down now, so it starts drawing. We'll go up for 600, so that way they're all the same height. Now, why don't I turn to the right? Instead of 90, it's going to need to be a little more. Let's try 120 like we did for our triangle. And I'll drive forward for that for 200. Now, I would need to turn back to the left. Not a full 120 though. I'm already at 120 and I want to get back to the left here. So I'm coming up, going down at this angle to get back there. It's actually going to be a right angle in the middle of that M. So that's going to be turning left for 90 degrees. So let's make sure that's right before we do the last side. Sorry, I have to restart. Before we do that last side. There's the I. Oh, forgot to move that pen tool back up, have it moving down twice. Sorry about that. This should be an up, not a down. I'll fix that. That'll be good later in the. Sorry about that. So here we go. So we have my T. Have my I. Left, forward. So we go up, right. Okay, so we need to go down a little bit farther with that. It doesn't look much like an M. So why don't I drive down, we'll say 400 for this. And we're going to make it a little bit steeper of an angle. We want it to be going down right into this area versus staying way up here. So now we drive down 400 and we'll make it 150 degrees instead. Now I should still be turning at 90 degrees because you can see I'm aimed up back at the same angle I came down now. So the 90 can stay. Then I'll drive up 400 to make the other side of the middle part of the M. I can then turn, if I'm facing, it was 150, and we're back to 90, and we went back up 90. So now I need to turn back straight down to do the bottom line. And that's when I'm going to actually use this turn to heading. I know we didn't use too much of it yet, but this allows you to turn to a certain degrees without having to do the math as much. So I'm going to do turn to heading, and I want it to be 180 degrees. They have 0 degrees set at facing upwards, so 180 would be the opposite, and I'm going to be going straight down. And I want to drive that for 600 millimeters. So let's hit restart, let's see what we get. Should be the name Tim. Here's the T, we know that works. Here's the I, we know that works. Here is the M. There we go. See, we went way farther down. Oh, didn't quite go up at that angle we wanted. Far enough. Okay, so we can see that 90 degrees isn't quite what we wanted. So why don't we try 120? That'll kind of equal out to our 150. Restart. Redrive over. Here's our T. Here's our I. There we go. That's the angle we wanted. And then we were down at 180. There's the first name, Tim. Okay, so now what I want you to do for level 3, I'm not going to do it because it's just going to take up time that you can be working. You're going to create a project where the VR robot writes out your first and last name. Now, if you have a really long first and last name, I'm going to say do no more than 5 letters for each. So if your first name or your last name is more than 5 letters, just shorten it, cut it off at 5, maybe do a nickname, whatever you need to do, but don't do more than 5 letters for each, otherwise it's just going to take too long and you're not going to really have enough room in our art canvas to draw that. So 5 letters for the first, 5 letters for the last. If your name is less than that, you're lucky, you don't have to do as much. Other than that, if you have questions, please let me know. Good luck with this activity, and I'll see you for the next activity. Thanks for watching.